Hello and welcome to an album a day, day number 141, going through my vinyl collection one piece at a time or two. Today we're going back to one of my favorite artists. This artist was a pretty big turning point for me. We've talked about him a little bit before, and thank you again for Cheryl from Hewlett-Packard from getting me the private music sampler cassette that led me to this artist. We're talking, of course, about the 1987 release from Patrick O'Hearn, Between Two Worlds. I'm pretty sure, love this album cover, by the way. It's his best album cover as far as I'm concerned. I really like the cover for the best of Patrick O'Hearn, but that was never released on vinyl, only CD and cassette. However, this one, fantastic. The other ones, the covers aren't that great for me, but that doesn't really matter. What matters is the music. We also get the wonderful, this is when the private music label sticker was at its best for me. I like this one the most. I've always thought that looked really, really cool. Still bummed I never got to sign with them, and they no longer exist. They got bought up by, I think it was BMG, and then most of their artists were pretty much dumped. You didn't see BMG releases or old catalog releases from most of them, unless you were pretty big like Yanni. Then they were like, okay, we got Yanni, and that might be why they bought them. It's not uncommon for a company to buy another company, not because they want the whole company, but because they only want certain pieces of it. And I think, unfortunately, Patrick O'Hearn fell victim to that because there were no BMG releases for Patrick that I can find. This is an original 1987 copy. Unfortunately, the cover is a little bit chewed up. Like, the front looks pretty good, little chewed up at the top, but where it comes from is really the back. Like, that whole top section is chewed up. It's not ripped, which is good, but it's kind of unfortunate that the cover is that way. Here we get the big hair from the 80s and a little bit about the songs and all that. And I think we have a generic sleeve. There's something else in here, if I remember right. Oh, yes. This very important advertisement from Private Music. Little poster that you could put up on your wall. There's the back. And just here we have a little bit of kind of like a little catalog sampler of some of their releases, which is pretty cool. I don't know how well I held that up for you because I can't see the camera when I'm doing this. Anyway, nice little touch from them. Do have a couple of these. The Theme of Secrets from Eddie Jobson, On the Future of Aviation from Jerry Goodman. I'll have to check out some of these other ones. Leo Cody, I gotta check into his stuff as well. Sanford Ponder, yeah, I'll have to dig into these artists some more. So that's a pretty cool bonus to get within the album. But of course, guys, as always, you know me, the most important thing is the music. It doesn't matter how good or bad the cover is. That's just what gets you to notice it in a record store if you're not already familiar with and looking for the artist. I've always found it so unfortunate that an audio medium needs a visual representation to sell it. Unfortunately, it does. That is the world that we live in. However, let's get into the songs. Rainmaker. Now, with New Age music, titles become a little bit abstract because when you have lyrics, when you have a chorus, when you have something that you can pull from in a story, it's really easy to make a song title. When you have an instrumental, it's pretty abstract. Rainmaker is a great song. Sky Juice, I love the title and I really love the song. Cape Perpetual, probably one of my favorites. Gentle Was the Night, excellent. Fire Ritual, kick-ass song. Then we switch over to side B, 87 Dreams of a Lifetime. All these are really good, I'm just going to say that. Dimension D, Forever the Optimist, another one of my favorites. Journey to Yoruba, and the title track, Between Two Worlds. It's tough because there's not going to be anything recognizable to you guys doing those titles. So all I'm going to say is kind of a blanket. Every song on here is really good. And if you're interested in instrumental music, something that you can just kind of put on and drift away with, you don't really have to, you're not going to headbang to it. You don't have to worry about what it's going to do as far as like making you want to dance. There may be some of that with some of the beats. But for the most part, it's just music that you can relax, put the headphones on, lay back in your chair, lay back on the bed, and just listen and enjoy and relax. So I highly suggest, if you're interested in this kind of music, checking out Patrick O'Hearn. This would be an excellent album to start with. Also, the best of Patrick O'Hearn on cassette or CD would be really good. There's a lot of great stuff on there, and still the elusive Indigo I've been checking, and man, I just cannot find it for a good price. It was a limited edition run. Really hard to find. There's only a couple copies out there, but they're pretty expensive. So unfortunately, a little bit out of my league at the moment. Maybe someday someone will sell one, or I'll stumble across one at a more reasonable price. Not that a higher price isn't reasonable for something rare, but when I say reasonable, I mean more in conjunction with my pocketbook. So there's that. Anyway, it is Friday. I don't know what you guys have planned for the weekend. I'm actually going to be working on a film score that I'm very excited to be composing the music and doing some sound design for. More on that later. In the meantime, check out Smoke on the Podcast. Released the episode for Black Knight today, and did a great interview with John Reynolds for the Haskincast podcast that came out on Wednesday. And we got 2 more bonus songs for In Rock on Smoke on the Podcast. And there's the entire archive of Uriah Heep, the Magicians podcast to enjoy. I've got albums, I've got music, I've got all kinds of stuff for you guys. Check out my website, www.scotthaskin.com. And there are links to absolutely everything I do there. That is the hub of my digital world. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.